Everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a long time since I've done anything here on the channel, but I kind of need to take a step back a little bit, kind of reassess things and kind of figure out what I wanted to do with this channel and how to approach it without stressing myself out too much. So I hope you guys will be understanding with me and continue to go along on the ride here with me as well. I've decided to kind of change up things a little bit here, kind of, use a different program to kind of make things a little bit easier here on the channel. So this is my first show with the new StreamYards program instead I'm going to be using instead of Streamlabs OBS. Those of you who are on YouTube probably understand that Streamlabs OBS is just a little bit more on the logistical side of things. It feels a little bit more complicated. I feel like StreamYards is going to be a little bit easier, and I think it'll make things a lot better for me and for everybody on the channel, like Brandon or whoever decides to join us here in the conversations. But if you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. And I wanted to start off this stream with some movie news that I haven't got a chance to get into yet, and a little bit of a wrestling recap as well. So I wanted to talk about one of the newest movie news items that had just come out in the last few days, week or whatever it was, and that is of course that Hayden Christensen is going to be coming back to the role of Anakin Skywalker, and he is going to be appearing in the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka Disney Plus show. This comes to us from the Direct. It's been quite a while since Star Wars fans have had new content to look forward to, especially when it comes to live action. The Mandalorian finished its second season late last year, and The Bad Batch Season 1 came to an end several months ago, I suppose, is what the article meant to say. Thankfully, the drought is about to come to an end, though. The Book of Boba Fett will be premiering on December 29th of this year, and following it is an entire string of shows. This includes Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and The Mandalorian's third season that is going to, I believe it's actually now filming at this point. Even more will be going into production early next year, including the highly anticipated Ahsoka show starring Rosario Dawson. This show has longtime Star Wars genius Dave Filoni as its writer and executive producer, alongside The Mandalorian's Jon Favreau serving as an additional executive producer. Not many details are known about the plot, but the first huge casting news has just been released, and yes, Darth Vader is back. The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that Hayden Christensen, the actor responsible for portraying Darth Vader in Episodes 2 and Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, will be joining the upcoming Ahsoka series on Disney+. Sources propose the theory that Vader, or simply Anakin, may also be a Force ghost in this show, considering this show is set after The Mandalorian's second season. The character would only be able to appear in flashbacks because of the timeline, seeing as Darth Vader would be dead at this point in time. Production for Ahsoka is due to start in early 2022, and fans will be able to see Hayden Christensen reprise the role first in the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series next year in 2022. Darth Vader and Ahsoka will meet again. The last time these two characters interacted in chronology was when Darth Vader nearly killed Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels. So no matter what form Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader takes, the two will likely have a lot to talk about. The Force Ghost angle is probably what fans should expect. It makes the most sense canonically and is an easy tool to explore the relationship and dynamic between the two for the first time. After all, there will be plenty of people following Ahsoka as a character for the first time, so they may have zero knowledge about her time under Anakin Skywalker as his Padawan. It's no surprise to see the show bring Anakin back into the fold. The characters obviously have a deep connection with each other from the time in Clone Wars and Rebels. On top of that, Rosario Dawson's relationship with Hayden Christensen in real life played into her casting as the Mandalorian's Jedi. Ahsoka is no doubt going to be a fan favorite show. The ending point of Rebels seems to be the jumping off point of the Rosario-led series here, with rumors pointing toward Ahsoka hunting down Thrawn and Ezra's locations. In fact, the casting for both characters may have been underway for quite some time now. The show does not have an official air date on Disney+, but fans can likely expect to see the show at some point in 2023. In my opinion, even though this says 2022, it's difficult to imagine that it would release. Okay, so they're going to be filming it next year, but it sounds like the show is going to definitely be filming and be coming out probably in 2023. But yeah, Star Wars is packed right now. I mean, they've got all sorts of things on their plate. next year alone, we've got the Book of Boba Fett Season 1. We're going to have Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're going to have The Mandalorian Season 3, most likely by the end of the year. And, of course, Bad Batch Season 2, all of which will be coming out in 2022. So if you thought Marvel had a huge slate when it comes to TV shows, just wait until you see what Star Wars has in store in 2022. And I personally can't wait. I think there's a lot of things you could do with Anakin Skywalker, meeting his former Padawan, Ahsoka, in this timeline as a Force ghost, or we can get flashbacks to the old Clone Wars era. There's a lot of talk that the Obi-Wan Kenobi show with Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan as well is going to have some flashbacks into that show as well. So there could be doing a little bit of both in each series to kind of go back and show some stuff that happened with Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, all in the Clone Wars era live action. So that could be very interesting to see, because the animated shows in Star Wars have been absolutely incredible. If you've not checked out Clone Wars, if you've not checked out Rebels and the Bad Batch, Star Wars Resistance is it's there. It's not the best animated show, and it doesn't really tie into a whole lot of the movies per se, but Clone Wars, Rebels, and Bad Batch are definitely great Star Wars storytelling. If you've not checked them out, I highly recommend them, so go do that. But the real question here is, though, guys, what do you guys think about the fact that Hayden Christensen is going to be returning as Anakin Skywalker in the Ahsoka Disney Plus series on the streaming service coming up here in the next couple of years? So comment below. Let me know what you guys think about that. So we have some more movie news I wanted to get into here. And of course, the next topic is going to revolve around the fact that apparently Bill Murray, yes, Bill Murray has announced that that he's going to be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, debuting in Antman 3. So let's check this out. After the recent unexpected scheduling adjustment from Disney and Marvel Studios, the last Phase 4 movie that currently has a release date is 2023's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Thanks to Scott Lang's pivotal role helping save half of all life in the universe in Avengers Endgame, the miniature hero will be back for his third and likely biggest solo adventure to date. Paul Rudd's Avenger will have quite the team of returning players backing him up, highlighted by Evangeline Lilly's Hope Van Dyne and Catherine Newton's Cassie Lang. The movie boasts a star-studded cast as nearly any Phase 4 movie has, particularly as it introduces Jonathan Majors Kang the Conqueror on the big screen. We saw Jonathan Majors playing He Who Remains at the end of the timeline in the Loki series, and we're going to be getting his variant, Kang the Conqueror, coming up here in Ant-Man 3. Although rumors are pointing to new additions also still possibly on the way. One of those rumors pointed to acting legend Bill Murray joining this blockbuster threequel after a photo double was included on a production listing in early October. Now it appears that those rumors are moving into the confirmed category. In an interview with a German newspaper via the Cosmic Circus, acting veteran Bill Murray confirmed that he's joined the cast of Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. When asked how important it is to work with people he knows and likes, Murray reminisced on how he recently made a quote-unquote Marvel movie after getting to know director Peyton Reed, who he only referred to as the director of Bring It On. He agreed to do the movie even though he admitted to not being interested in these huge comic book adaptations. The MCU has made a name for itself as a superstar magnet for more than a decade, a title that only strengthens with the confirmed addition of Bill Murray. Boasting a career of nearly 50 years to date, Bill Murray is iconic in the world of pop culture thanks to roles like Peter Venkman in the first two Ghostbusters movies, which he will reprise alongside Paul Rudd in 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, he and Rudd are set to team up once again for the MCU's second threequel of 2023 as he takes on a rare superhero movie appearance. So yeah, this sounds like it could be great. I mean, not only are we getting Bill Murray in the MCU, Paul Rudd and Bill Murray are getting back together after Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I for one, am very much looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife coming out in November of 2021. And from all the indications that we've heard so far, Ghostbusters Afterlife seems to be being well received by critics and people who have seen it up to this point, and it sounds like it's getting good reviews. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it, because I thought that 2016 version of Ghostbusters was just terrible. But Ghostbusters 1 and 2 are classics in most people's minds, and mine included, and especially the first one. And I'm looking forward to Afterlife, to seeing what they do with the current lore, because obviously, you know, with Egon no longer being around, you know, Harold Ramis, who played Egon, is no longer with us. And I want to see what they do with his child in this movie, I believe is what she is, and she's going to be finding, you know, the Ecto-1 and the proto-packs and all this sort of stuff from the original Ghostbusters, and hopefully we'll see Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and I've heard Sigourney Weaver may be coming back in this movie as well. I'd love to see Rick Moranis come back, but I don't think, you know, probably shouldn't hold our breath on that one, but I want to see more from this lore, and if nothing else, I hope this Ghostbusters Afterlife movie is a good into the so-called trilogy in the Ghostbusters lore, but we'll see if they want to maybe do some more Ghostbusters movies and things like that if this movie is successful, but I'm hoping for the best here. What do you guys think? Please comment down below. Let me know what you think about the fact that Bill Murray is joining Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what kind of character he'll play. It sounds like it'll be a small role, but I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing here in the MCU. Let me know, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and please hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. And so, yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic here, and that is, of course, we are going to be getting a Dune sequel. If you've been paying attention in the world of movies lately, you know that the first part of Dune, or Dune, has been released in theaters and on HBO Max, and now we're going to be getting an official Part 2 coming from Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures here. So this comes to us from Deadline. The Dune sequel has been greenlit by Legendary and Warner Brothers, and will be getting a theatrical window release in October of 2023. And what comes as no surprise, the sequel for Dune finally has been greenlit for an October 20th, 2023 release date, with director, producer, and co-screenwriter Denis Villeneuve returning. The key word here is theatrical. We understand that a key point of negotiations between Legendary and Warner Brothers was that Dune Part 2 would be given a pure theatrical window. No day and date HBO Max release plan is in the mix for this cinema spectacle, because obviously everything with the pandemic, Warner Brothers wanted to put some stuff on HBO Max this year and have all their theatrical releases go to HBO Max. Well, there's a lot of talk that Denis Villeneuve was not very pleased with that. He wanted his movie to be released in theaters, and of course did not get his way. I mean, it was released in theaters, but not exclusively in theaters. Seems like Dune Part 2 is going to be released exclusively in theaters. Legendary Pictures put out this tweet that says, "This is only the beginning. Thank you to those who have experienced Dune so far and those who are going in the days and weeks ahead. We're excited to continue the journey." So yes, I'm glad to see that we're going to be getting more, at least another film. I don't know a whole lot about the Dune books and things like that, but I know it's a lot of story, so I'm glad we're at least going to be getting a second part. And for those of you, I'm not going to ruin Dune for those of you who have not seen it, but I will say that just coming at it from a perspective of someone who did not see the 1984 Dune film, I think is when it was released, so I kind of came into this with fresh eyes. It's got a lot of world building in this new Dune movie, as it needs to do for a first film, and what they hope to at least be a two-parter here. I don't know how many movies they can maybe, you know, milk this cow with. I'm not sure if it can maybe go beyond 2 parts, or if it's just going to stick to 2 parts alone. But either way, I'd be okay with just 2 parts. But whatever it takes to tell the story properly is all that really matters to me. But there's a lot of world building done in this, and to me, it kind of feels like the movie is, I mean, at the beginning of the film, it does say part 1. So clearly there's more story to be told. When the film ends, it's a good stopping point, but I definitely want to see more of what was going to happen. And I hope they elaborate on that in the sequel. And I'm sure they will. It sounds like they've already got a plan. And I think they might have even were going to be filming this movie back to back. You know, when they filmed the first one, they were going to film the second one immediately. But apparently, I think something with the pandemic might have stopped those plans and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. And I definitely enjoyed Dune Part 1. I'm not so sure, you know, how I'll feel once I get the entire story. But I like what I saw so far. I like the world building they did. I like the CGI. I thought the acting was great with all, I mean, it's got an all-star cast from, Josh Brolin, Timothy Chalamet, Batista's in this movie, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac. I mean, the cast goes on and on and on. It's actually a very well cast film. It's a beautiful looking film. Denis Villeneuve did a great job doing all the cinematography and things like that, and all in his crew. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to check out Dune Dune Part 2. But the real question here is, guys, what do you guys think about the fact that Dune Part 2 is officially being greenlit at Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures? Please comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. All right, so now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into the last bit of news I kind of wanted to go over here today, and that is, of course, as a pro wrestling fan here on the channel, I do want to kind of get back into discussing a little bit on pro wrestling. So what I want to get in here first is, of course, you know, the review for tonight's WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. Yeah, their Halloween spectacular here on NXT, the rebrand of NXT, which I'm not going to lie, I've not been a big fan of. A lot of things that WWE is doing right now. The rebrand of NXT was definitely one of them, but I thought it was, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't see a whole lot of the show, but from what I did see, I did want to discuss a few things about it that I thought was really cool. First of all, we had a lot of title changes on this show, especially, you know, well, except for the one that everybody, I think, assumed was going to change hands here. The show opened up with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane defeating Io Shirai and Zoe Stark and Indy Hartwell and Persia Pirotta in a Scareway to Hell ladder match for the NXT Women's Championships, the Tag Championships. So, yeah, I mean, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane win the titles here. There was definitely one spot in this match where Indy Hartwell knocked Io Shirai over the top off the ladder, and, you know, she bounced off a ladder, and oh my gosh, I felt so bad for Io Shirai here. I hope she's okay. I hope there's you know, nothing wrong with her here, but I'm glad to see that this match was on paper. To me, I was just worried because a lot of these talents in NXT right now are very green, and you got to be very careful with you know, putting certain people in the ring and doing certain types of matches. Ladder matches can be very, very dangerous, and I hope that everybody is okay in this match here. But again, you know, title change here right away with these new ladies here from Toxic Attraction, and I can't wait to see where they continue to build this. And I will say NXT, especially tonight, I feel like it was probably, from what I saw of it, the best show that they've had up to this point. So that's a good thing moving forward for the NXT brand. I know a lot of people were very skeptical, myself included, about the rebranding of the show, and I hope that they will continue to build on these characters and stuff like that. So I understand what they're doing here, and we'll see what they do with it. And I got some hope. Well, I'm a little more optimistic about NXT 2.0, as we used to call it here on the channel, than I was before. So next up is we had a cinematic feature here, a lot of comedy between Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano. So I recommend go checking that out. But I don't want to spend too much time on it. I kind of want to go through this kind of quickly here. Joey Gacy defeated Malik Blade. It was a glorified squash match, so nothing a whole lot to really write home about here. During the bout, Harlan was shown throughout the building like he was Michael Myers. You know, they're definitely playing up on the Halloween aspect on this show, which makes some sense for Halloween Havoc. But for pro wrestling, there's a fine line between doing that and being too goofy. So I hope it didn't really cross that line here. But anything with, you know, Dexter Lumis and Johnny Gargano had to be gold here, no doubt about it. We had an NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Roderick Strong defeated Odyssey Jones. Oh, it wasn't a championship match. I'm sorry. It was a non-title match here. Strong pinned Jones after outside interference. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of WWE's MO a lot of times nowadays, is the interference and stuff that leads to the, you know, the distraction finish type of stuff. So hopefully, you know, they don't go too crazy with that. Mandy Rose defeated the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez in a trick or street fight to win the title. So they were definitely doing this spin the wheel stuff throughout the night with the Scareway to Hell. We got the trick or street fight, and I think we had a Lumberjack-O-Lantern match. So definitely playing on the Halloween theme, and of course wrestling, you know, street fights, or, you know, Lumberjack and Lumberjack-O-Lantern. See what they're doing there. Very clever. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that here. But, yeah, during this match, though, we've got the return of Dakota Kai. She came in as a cloaked figure and stood over Gonzalez after the match was over. So, yeah, but and then she even... I believe she was hit from behind, and of course that's what led to Raquel Gonzalez losing the title here. So, yeah, so good to see Dakota Kai back. It looks like they're going to be continuing the feud between Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez that they've been doing in previous months, and it looks like Mandy Rose is going to be getting a bit of a push here on NXT 2.0, and Toxic Attraction now have all I repeat, all of the women's titles here on NXT. So interesting to see there. So yeah, we had a few other things. Imperium defeated NXT Tag Champions MSK to win the title. So again, another title change here. New start, fresh start. Even though Imperium and MSK both are kind of NXT veterans at this point, it's good to see Imperium get the titles here. I think it's been a little bit long time coming here for Imperium. So good to see that for those guys. We'll see if Walter ever makes another appearance here on the main brand, or if he just continues to kind of run things from afar in the UK. Then, of course, we had the main event, which is the thing I kind of wanted to discuss a little bit the most here. And that's, of course, NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa defeated Braun Breaker to win to retain his NXT championship and keeping Goldie around his waist. I'll tell you right now, Braun Breaker he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot to be excited about going into his future. But I kind of agree with the idea to not put the title on Braun Breaker just yet. I know I for one thought there was no doubt that Braun Breaker was going to win the NXT championship here, because it just felt like WWE was kind of putting the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, of the old NXT brand here. And to submit that and to drive that nail through, it would have made sense for them to put the title on Braun Breaker. While I believe he's got a bright future ahead of him, because he's got a lot of talent. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring. He's got the look. He's got it all. And I think if they continue to build him up, he could be one of the better superstars to come out of NXT, and we'll see what they do with him. But I think the keeping the belt on Tommaso Ciampa is the best thing, especially because what's Tommaso Ciampa going to do outside of the championship picture here? I mean, he strikes me as a guy who would maybe leave the company at some point. Some of these former NXT guys used to be during the old NXT brand would probably be better served in other companies at this point. Not saying it has to be AEW or Impact or wherever, but some of these guys are not going to have a future on the main roster. So, I mean, guys like Johnny Gargano, Roderick Strong, Tommaso Ciampa, some of these guys are not going to have a bright future up there, I don't think, because they're just too small in Vince McMahon's eyes. But a guy like Braun Breaker, he's got a big future, and hopefully they're not thinking about calling him up to the main roster already. I think he's still got some work to do in NXT before it gets to that point. But good to see Tommaso Ciampa retaining the belt here, and it sounds like, again, like Halloween Havoc was one of the better NXT shows since the rebrand anyway. It was their first big pay-per-view on USA, if you want to call it that. But we'll see what happens when they do a pay-per-view. If they do another NXT pay-per-view for a while, I don't know what the scheduling is for the takeovers. I don't think they've got any planned right now, but I think eventually you maybe do some on the WWE Network on the Peacock service or something. But for right now, I got no problem with them just doing specials on the USA Network. Dynamite does the same sort of thing every few months instead of doing pay-per-views all the time as well. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. So we'll see what they do. So I'm encouraged by what happened tonight on NXT Halloween Havoc, but we'll see where they go, and we'll see what happens after that. So that'll about do it for me this evening here on the channel, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream as well, and I hope you guys will continue to watch me here on the channel as I try to find my way here a little bit, trying to do some things a little bit differently here. I know I've kind of done a lot of, what kind of schedule am I going to do? Is it just going to be kind of like when I have the time, when I feel like it, things like, because I ain't going to lie, it's a lot of work. YouTube is a lot of work. If those of you who've never done YouTube probably don't even fully understand how much work YouTube can be, but it's almost like a second job sometimes. But if you have the help of some good programs and some shortcuts and things like that, you can actually do things pretty efficiently. So we'll see what happens here, but please stick around on the channel. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I'm trying to just figure out ways to make things easier, and I hope you guys can understand that. So with that being said, if you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.
We about to turn it on.